Okay, we can start. But now I'm just share the screen quickly. Can you see the screen now? Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. So it says the graph of ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. So what type of graph is that? It's a parabola, right?
Yes.
So you've got a parabola and you've got a nice straight line graph. Okay, parabola and a straight line graph, and they say D is a common point. Okay, so it's a point on both graphs. So if you sub in 1 into the straight line graph and you sub in 1 into the parabola, it will both give you minus a. And it says F intersects the x-axis at -3 and 2. So that's quite important. And then it says G is a tangent. Okay, so there's actually a, sorry, that's the alarm. Should be off now. Sorry about that, guys. So basically the F intersects the x-axis at -3 and 2, so that's the x-intercept. Okay, so that automatically means that y is 0 over here. Okay, you can solve for that. G is a tangent. So what do we know about tangents and parabolas? Anybody want to give me something? Amara?
So the tangent is equal to the derivative of the parabola.
That's 70%. I want something more. You nearly got it. You must just be a bit more specific. Anybody want to help her?
At the one specific point?
Yes, that's the thing. So this tangent is a gradient, okay? Only has one gradient. And where the tangent cuts the parabola, the gradient of the tangent will be the same as the gradient of the graph at that point. So hypothetically, if the gradient of the tangent is 4, then that means at this point, the gradient is 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I told you guys that when you read, this is a statement in English, but you have to translate the English to maths. So the maths is that the derivative is the same, or the gradient is the same at this point. Okay, so if they tell you, if you work out the gradient of the tangent, then you know the gradient of the graph at that point. That's essentially what they mean. Okay. Okay, number 1, show that a equals 2, b equals 2, c equals -12. How would you guys do it? Number 6.1. Anybody have an idea? Amara, what did you do?
Okay, so I got A, but I got confused with B and C. Okay, so what I did with A is that that equation y is equal to A, open bracket, x minus x1, close bracket, open bracket, x minus x2. Yeah. And then I subbed the point and I got 2.
Okay, so this, have you guys all been exposed to this equation?
Yes.
So this equation is just the x1 and the x2 are the x-intercepts, right?
Is there no square by the second bracket? Is it not there?
No, different.
So okay, so this is an interesting point that you've made. Amaro, do you want to answer that question? I think you might.
Oh, is it because it's not a stationary point?
No,
it's not a cubic function. It's a parabola.
One.
So, Nafisa, you are talking about this one, where you've got a squared, right?
Yes.
Are you referring to that one?
Yes, I'm talking about that one.
That one we did last time, the last session. And were you there when I mentioned the bounce point?
Yes.
So that's if you guys want to go back and just watch that previous video last time, that's for a cubic function. This is just a parabola, so it won't have that. Okay.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Sorry, I got confused.
No. This is why you guys must ask questions. Okay. So, and Amara, you got 2, which is what you need, right? Okay. So what else can you do? So you want A, B, and C. So you've got y equals 2x squared plus bx plus c, right? That's your equation. You want B and C. What if you sub in 1 minus 8? Amaru?
But we still have 2 unknown. We still have
You can
B and C unknown. So that's
see. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, you can also just sub in and see what you get, and see what other equations you can. You've got a point there. You've got a tangent. You could find the derivative possibly if you don't know the gradient. Okay. If you say naught equals 2 times 2 squared plus 2b plus c. If you sub in one of the points on the x-intercept, you would get this, right? Do you agree?
yes.
Amara? So if you sub in minus 8, so then it becomes 2 times minus 1 square, which is 2 minus b plus c. Do you agree? And if you sub in one of the x-intercepts, you get naught equals 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 2b plus c.
Okay, so it's a simultaneous.
It's always going to be simultaneous with these ones because it's three variables. So you need to have 3 pieces of information, and the 3 pieces of information would be the. So I think you thought that because you've used these 2, you can't use one of them again.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you just solve those simultaneously, you'll get those 2 answers. Okay, so it's fine, but at least you know now. So okay, so now you know the equation of the parabola. So it's y equals 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. So what's the y-intercept? What's the y-intercept?
Minus 12.
Minus 12, right? And you know that from the equation. Okay. And this gradient is not 4. We don't know what it is yet, so I'm just going to erase that. Okay. Now it wants the coordinates of the turning point. So who wants to give that one a go? Anybody volunteer? Amara did the first one. Who wants to do the second one? Nafisa, do you want to try? Oh, Nafisa, do you want to try the second one?
Amara can continue. She did it, I think.
Okay, Amara, yeah, fine, I can go. Yeah.
So for the x, it's a half. No.
How do you know it's off?
Negative half. Negative half.
Okay, you're right, but how do you know it's off? Negative off.
Minus b over 2a.
Yeah. The other way is that you could say, okay, if the x-intercept is at minus 3 and 2, halfway between that is minus half also. But I mean, that's fine, doesn't it? Okay. So you've got minus half, right? And the y value?
I think it's minus 25 over 2.
Okay, so if you saw, do you guys get, somebody may just type that in. Did you type it in into the equation?
Yeah, minus 25 over 2.
Minus 25 over 2. Okay. And you can see it's only 2 marks, so it's probably the other way you guys could do is use calculus, right? And I'm not sure if all of you have done calculus yet, but we made concept videos, so you could have found the derivative, make it equal to naught, right? And then solve for that. Okay. Write down the equation of the axis of symmetry. Okay. Now this is a popular question that they give you. It's called transformation. Okay. So who wants to tell me what is happening to this graph? Anybody want to give it a go?
It's shifting.
Yes, but how is it shifting? Because they're telling you how it's shifting, but I want you to do. So that's they give here they're giving you the maths. I want the English.
Isn't it 2 units to the left?
No. So
Oh,
in
is
the
it
brackets,
confusing?
it's always going to be a horizontal shift. And outside the brackets, it's going to be a vertical shift. Okay. So what's the shift going to be? What's the shift going to be if it's in the brackets -7?
7 to the right.
7 to the right and
2 vertically up.
yeah. Okay, so if we just take this graph back, so I've just plotted the graph again, so you can see here. Here's the graph. So when they say x -7, it means to the right 7 and up 2. You guys see this?
Yeah.
If I said to you f of x plus 3 minus 1, what's happening?
Okay, so it's shifting 3
To the left.
Yeah, and
1 down.
down 1, right? So you see, guys, this is just maths, but you must translate it to English. Okay, so that's why you have to see maths as a language, because if you don't see it as a language, you can't translate. Okay, so axis of symmetry. Who wants to tell me what do we know about the axis of symmetry of a hyperbola, of a parabola? Where is the axis of symmetry?
the turning point.
Okay, what about the turning point?
Like when
Is the axis of symmetry just here, or is it a line?
it's a line,
And what type of line is it?
a straight line, so y goes to mx plus c.
A straight line is that equation, but what type of line is the axis of symmetry of the?
A vertical line.
It's a vertical line. And what is the equation of a vertical line? We spoke about this previously.
X equals no, y equals 0.
No,
X
y equals 0. Y equals 0 is a horizontal line. That's the x-axis. So vertical line is x equals something. So what did we say the x value is? -half, right?
Yes.
Do you guys understand why it's the equation? Why it's x equals -half? Would you like me to explain? Or does everybody know why it's x equals -half? Is everybody comfortable with this equation? Because all we're saying is that this vertical line, all the y values are changing, but the x value is staying the same. So that's how we can describe this line, is that x equals -half. Because across this entire line, x only equals -half. It doesn't change. The y changes, okay? So why am I telling you this? Because do you agree if the graph shifts, doesn't the axis of symmetry shift also?
Yes.
You guys see that? So where's the new axis of symmetry going to be? What would you do? Any ideas? Kaylee, any ideas?
Would you sub in -half where x is?
But why do you want to sub in? I asked you. So that this graph,
Find the equation.
it's shift, but you don't really need to, because aren't you just shifting it to the right and up one? Okay, let me ask you a question. If I shift this graph up vertically, does it change the axis of symmetry?
No, it's just going to change the equation the same way that you moved it. Like,
No, the equation is still the same of the axis of symmetry. It's still x
oh
equals
yeah,
minus r. So do you guys see that if we move the graph up and down, it won't change the axis of symmetry. It's still going to be that vertical line at x equals minus half. Do you guys see that?
yeah.
What changes the axis of symmetry is if we move it to the left or to the right. Okay. So what's the new axis of symmetry going to be then? Shaida, any ideas?
No.
Naima?
No.
So currently the equation is x
Isn't
equals
it just
minus.
gonna
It's going to be +half.
So you're moving it to the 7. You're moving it to the right by 7, right? Do you guys agree? We're moving it to the right by 7.
yeah.
So therefore, the axis of symmetry just moves by 7. So you just say minus half plus 7. So it's 6 and so x equals 6. Do you guys see that? Everybody see that?
Yeah.
So we're moving it to the right and up by 2. But my question is, by moving it up by 2, is that changing the axis of symmetry?
No.
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 Okay. So that's why you only have to consider the horizontal shift. Okay. Everybody happy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The next question says calculate the gradient of G. Okay. What do you guys think? So,
Derivative.
okay, well, what about the derivative? What do you need to do?
So
Find the gradient.
at that point, so it's at that point, right? So isn't the point 0? And then I think you have to sub it into the derivative in the x to find the
just repeat that. I wasn't following. Just say it again.
okay, so the tangent at that point, so we have to find the point in which the tangent lies, take the x-intercepts and then sub it into the derivative of the function and sub it to the x. So where there's x, you sub it to, with the x coordinate at that point of where the tangent touches the parabola. And then you're going to find the gradient.
Well, can you just say it again? I wasn't following. Just say, I'm just if you say it one more time. I'm just not following. But can you just say it one more time? I'm the problem. You just say. Sometimes I need to hear things fast. Okay.
Okay. So the tangent, right? So
Yeah.
we see at what point the tangent touches the parabola. So
At
at
what
that
point is
point,
that?
so one of the x, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 0.
No, it's 1 minus 8.
Oh, okay, so it's that
They
one.
say,
So we
because they
take that
say, yeah,
1
it's
and
a common point. You see?
oh, okay. Yeah. So that 1 we sub into the derivative where there's x. So the derivative of the parabola, you sub that 1 into the x where there's an x, you sub it with this one with the point there. So it's 1, you sub it and then you'll get the gradient of the tangent.
Exactly. Oh, yes. So do you guys understand what Amaro said?
No,
Yes.
could you say it one more time?
Okay, so she's just saying that we want to work out the gradient of g. So what is g? G is the tangent, right? So she's saying that if we want to work out the gradient of the tangent, we could just work out the gradient of the graph at this point. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
And you could work out the gradient of the graph by just finding the derivative, which is 4x plus 2 dy by dx, and then subbing in 1, which is 6.
Yeah.
So the gradient of the graph is 6 here, which means the tangent must be a gradient of 6. So do you guys see how important that principle is, that the gradient of the tangent is the same as the gradient of the graph? That's the concept. And now what we're doing is that we're applying the concept, okay? But if you don't know the concept, you can't apply it. That's you know. Okay, so what's the range of f of x minus 3? Okay, so what is, okay, so who wants to tell me what is happening to this graph?
It's moving 3 units to the right.
Right. So
Yeah.
now the question is, what is the range? So what is range, by the way? What is range?
Range of the y.
What's the definition of range? How would you guys define range?
It's all the y values at in the parabola.
So yeah, it's just so better to say all the y values that exist in the graph. Okay, so if I were to put my pointer here, does a y value exist here? Yes. For this y value, do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Over here. Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where does it not exist?
Below the turning point.
Right. Okay, it doesn't exist below the turning point. So what is the question asking you?
What will the range?
How is the range going to change if you shift the graph to the right?
It's not going to change.
Kaylee says it's not going to change. What do you guys say? Shaida?
Yeah, it wouldn't change because the turning point is still going to be in the same place.
Amara? Naima? Nafisa?
I think it probably will change because it shifts. So that means the y is also shifting 3 units to the right.
But the y is not shifting. The x is shifting.
Oh, sorry.
So remember, what is the definition? Okay, so Kaylee is right. So the definition of range is all the y values that exist on the graph.
Yeah.
All the y values that exist on the graph. Okay? So my question to you is that what they're trying to get you to understand is that if you shift it to the right or to the left, are the y values changing?
No.
Is the turning point changing? No. Because no matter how you move it, these values below still don't exist. If you shifted it down, then yes, because then it would be to where the new turning point is. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So it's kind of like a trick question because it's making you think that it's going to change, but
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
maths, there are trick questions. It's the thing, like, a lot of people say that, like, there's no trick questions, but then there are trick questions. Like, but the question is, you just mustn't be tricked. And the way you're not tricked is if you know the concepts. So if that's why it's always nice to draw it out, just to draw it out. Okay, so and that's why you have to know the concepts. You have to know what is range. If you don't know what range means, then you can't answer this question. Okay, if I were to ask you, what is the domain of this graph, guys? What's the domain?
All the x values.
So what is the domain?
Between -3 and 2.
So Nafisa says between -3 and 2. Amaro, what do you say? What's the domain?
It's also, I think Hafiz is right.
Kaylee, what's the domain?
sorry, I'm speaking, my mic is off. For the positive, okay, it's going to be x is an element of real numbers for positive because it's going to be going up the whole way, but it's going to stop at, actually, no, I'm talking about y's. No, I'm talking about x's.
I'm asking for the domain.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting confused.
What is domain?
Domain is domain is where all the x values that exist.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's going to be between 3 and 2. -3 and 2. What they said. No.
Saida.
Yeah, I also think it'll be between -3 and 2.
I think it's going to be more than 2 and less than -3, isn't it? Because it's not in between, it's separately. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I want all of you after this class to watch the concept video on the parabola. It's in grade 10 because the domain of a parabola is x is an element of the real numbers. Every x value is possible.
That only.
Every x value.
3 and 2.
I'm sorry.
So it's not just between 3 and 2, it's every single x value to infinity and negative infinity.
Oh yeah. How did I not? Okay.
Because what are we saying? What are we saying? We're saying what x values are possible in this graph. So if I write y equals 2x squared plus 2x minus 12, can I sub in minus 20 into this graph?
Yeah.
Can I sub in
Yeah.
1,000,000 into this graph?
Yeah. You can.
Can I sub in?
Anyway.
Can I sub in minus 99,999,000? Can I sub that into this graph?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there an x value that I can't sub in?
No.
Therefore,
It's all numbers.
x is the element of the real numbers.
All real numbers.
And that's why we call x the independent variable. You must have heard that before. X is the independent. You choose what x is, right? You choose. You can choose any x value. But obviously with some graphs like the hyperbola, where x is in the denominator, right? Which value can't you choose for x? It'll be 0, right?
0.
Okay, so guys, after this, I really urge you to watch the concept video on parabolas. It's in the section mind map, and I go through because I just think it's very important to understand the concepts well. So promise me you're gonna watch the concept videos. It's not too long, just the parabola one, okay?
Yeah.
Guys? You promise?
Promise.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next question. Oh. Did you guys know that acronym that she sent? I didn't know that. Shelter your ear because X-rays, something. Have you guys heard of that before?
No.
No, what is that?
I also never heard of. Like when she sent it, like I was like, "What is this? Is this appropriate for this student?" And like, no, what they've been taught in class, so it's okay. Okay, so this is a calculus question, optimization. Optimization, which is practical calculus, and we've made concept videos on optimization that
Yes,
I also urge. Okay, so it says the volume of water is V, okay, is given by the equation this. This is the equation where T is time, okay? So a nice way to think of this equation is like if I sub in T to be naught, that's basically saying how much water was there at the beginning. If I said T was 30, then I'm asking the equation to tell me what was the volume after 30 hours. If I sub in T to be 80, what's the volume after 80 hours? Do you guys see the equation?
Okay, yes.
So that's why you also have to understand the equation. What is the equation telling me? So the equation is saying that volume is equal to something with time. So I can change the time, and then the equation will tell me the volume. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Can T be negative?
No.
And your reasoning?
Because time isn't negative.
Right. So even though this is a parabola,
Because you can't figure out the okay, never mind.
yes, even though this is a parabola, the domain is not going to be X's elementary real numbers. Do you guys understand in this graph? Because in this graph the domain is T. The domain is T. Time cannot be any real number in this graph. Why? Because time can't be negative. So in this graph, the domain would be T is greater than or equal to naught. Are we happy?
Yeah.
T is greater than or equal to naught. Okay. So, but in general, the parabola is X's element of the real numbers. Okay. But obviously, if you just think about it, okay, T can't be negative. So in this case, it's going to be like that. Okay. Now it says, what's the initial volume? Okay. What's the initial volume? So how would you work out the initial volume? Amara, what would you say is the initial volume? Given that you understand the equation. What's the key word here in this instance?
Initial, which means it's equal to 0.
What's equal to 0?
The T amount, the T is equal to 0.
T is equal to 0. Yeah, not V. T is equal to 0. So how would you work out the volume?
So whenever they ask for the initial volume, it must be equal to 0.
No, T must be 0. Don't just say equals 0. You must be specific and say
T.
Initial always means at the start. So therefore time must be 0. So what's the volume at the start? How would you work it out?
You just sub in 0 wherever you see 2.
It's just 40.
It's just 40,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
40 is the y-intercept, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the y-intercept? Where's the y-intercept?
Like on the graph.
Mm.
It's where the graph is going to, not the graph, it's where the function is going to cross over the y.
How do you calculate the y-intercept?
Make x 0.
And in this graph, the y-intercept is where? T is 0.
Yeah.
So T is 0 is the y-intercept, the initial. So if you wanted a quick way, if you drew the graph and you wanted to know the initial, you just look here. Because here T is naught.
How come you're drawing it with as a sad parabola?
Because the equation is minus 8 T squared.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Sorry.
But obviously, for this graph, it will be like this, eh? It's like that. Because the graph does not exist when T is less than 0.
Yeah.
Okay? So we can expect the volume of the water to go down. Right? It's just going to go down. Okay. Now it says, oh no, that's not,
Sorry?
Yes.
Sorry, could you please explain again? I'm getting confused.
Okay, what is confusing?
Like, I thought we were supposed to do like T was supposed to be 0 in order to find the initial volume of the water.
Yes, but we said that, so it's 40. But because if T is naught, then you're just left with 40.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was just trying to stretch you a bit and say that 40 is also the y-intercept, but the y-intercept is where x is naught. Is where
Yeah.
T is naught. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So whenever... Okay, no, thank you.
Yeah, Rivka. See, Rivka's there. Rivka's a bit late, eh? See, it's like 50 minutes late. I'm a bit disappointed, but it's okay. Okay, at what rate is the volume of the water changing? At what rate is the volume of the water changing? So this is just, so they're saying the change in V, the change in the volume, and whenever they use rate, what do they mean?
In
What
this
is
case,
the
the increase.
What does rate imply? In physics, who does physics?
It implies derivative. I don't do physics, but it's derivative, isn't it?
It implies that you're looking at something with respect to time. So like the rate of, yeah, I mean, if I said the rate of distance is just distance over time. So whenever I use the word rate, I'm implying that I'm looking at something with respect to time. So they're asking, how is the volume changing with respect to time, the rate? But what is this delta V over delta T? You just said it now.
The change in.
But somebody just said it now. I think Nafisa just said it. What is delta V?
I said derivative, but I don't know
It's
what
the
it was.
derivative.
Oh,
It is the
is
derivative.
it the formula? Oh,
It's a derivative. Wait. If you've got a function, 3x squared plus 6x, what's the derivative of this one? dy over dx.
the dx.
If you've got an equation v equals 4t squared plus 5t plus 6, what's the derivative? dy
over the
dv over dt. Oh.
So
Okay.
the English in this sentence, at what rate is the volume changing? Delta V over delta T. That's the English changing that to maths. So what are they asking you? What is delta V over delta T?
The derivative.
The derivative. So now they're asking you, what is the derivative? What is the change in volume after 4 hours? So what will you do?
You sub 4 in with
So
t.
you work out,
Never mind.
Yeah.
but you
Nafisa,
first
Nafisa.
work out the first work out the derivative, which is negative 16t plus 8t. Yeah, and then you sub in 4 wherever you see t,
Yes.
which is 16.
Yeah. So 16 meters cubed. Is that liters? No, meters cubed. Let's just say meters cubed per second. Or per hour, sorry, per hour. Time is in hours. Yeah. So after 4 hours, the volume is changing by 16 meters per hour. And after 10 hours, after 10 hours, okay?
It would be negative 80. You just sub in 10 by t.
That's interesting. It's a negative answer. Yeah, but it is decreasing. Yeah, it's decreasing. Yeah. Yes.
Wait,
Actually,
why?
I think so. Okay, let's draw the graph to make sense of this. This is exactly the same as calculus. It's exactly the same. You're just using an example. So we can just use y equals. No man, let's get a new one. Can you guys hear the dog? Can you hear the dog? No.
Only a bit, yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's actually not our dog. It's the neighbor's dog. It is.
It's fine.
Y equals minus 8 x squared, right? Plus 80 plus 40. That looks out of place. Okay. So this is the graph, guys. So what can you tell me about what's happening? If the y, what is y equal to? V, right? And t is the x.
There's the x.
So what's happening to the volume in the tank as we go from left to right?
Decreasing?
Not decreasing.
Increasing.
Increasing. What's happening? It's increasing. And then here, it's decreasing. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
The y is volume. So if you over here, the volume is getting higher and higher and higher, and then here it's getting lower. Okay. And over here in this question, they ask you to find the derivative or the gradient when x is 4 and when x is 10. Right? When x is 4 and when x is 10. What's a quick way of finding the derivative, like graphically? What did we do? What did I tell you you could do? Like just to give you an idea of the derivative. What, without any calculations, just to, what did we say we could do?
Change in V over change in T.
You could draw a tangent, right? You could draw a tangent. Just so that you could see like what's happening. Do you see here, like, is the tangent positive or negative, the gradient?
It's positive.
Positive.
Positive, and here?
Negative.
So do you understand why you got a positive answer first and then a negative answer?
Yeah.
Because when you subbed in 4 into the gradient derivative, you got 16, which means that the gradient is positive. If the gradient is positive, is the function decreasing or increasing?
Increasing.
It must be increasing. That's how, using calculus, you can tell the shape of the graph. If the gradient is negative, the function is
Decreasing.
decreasing. So therefore, since we got a positive answer, that means that at that point, the function was increasing. It was getting higher. And then at this point, because the gradient was negative, I knew the graph was going down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Amara, Nafisa, you
Yep.
guys must talk to me. Okay. So, okay. So, so now it's saying, after how many hours does the volume increase at 48 per hour? So what do they mean by this statement here? So this is English, guys. What is the maths? What is the maths of this mean?
They want you to work out the time. So T.
The time, but yeah, but what is this? What does this mean?
I don't get what you're asking.
What I'm asking? What is the question asking? What is it? What does it mean when we say increase at a rate of 48 meters per hour? What are they trying to tell you there?
The answer is equal to 48. So
They're telling you the velocity. I mean, not the velocity, the V.
No, it is flow, not velocity, flow. If you want to be technical, but they're telling you the rate of change, and the rate of change is the derivative.
Oh yeah.
Officer?
yes,
The rate of change is the derivative.
yes. So you make your derivative equal to that 48.
You guys see?
Right?
Because now you want to work out time, but your derivative, your change in volume with respect to time is 48. Your change in volume with respect to time is minus 32, because they're saying decrease. But you told me, Elias, didn't you tell me that the derivative is minus 16t plus 80? Right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying that that's equal to 48. So can I make 48 equal to that? And 32 minus 32 equal to that?
Mm.
So
Wait,
you see, it's
sorry.
very... Yeah, say it again.
Which one are you working with, 48 or 32? I'm confused now.
The second question. First, second question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay.
Okay. Amaro, is it making sense? I don't mind repeating because it's not an easy section.
Kind of. I'm getting confused, but I think.
What is confusing? What doesn't make sense? Is it Nafisa? Does it make sense, this part now?
Yes, it does.
When they say increase at a rate, they mean derivative,
Yeah.
and they're saying that increase is equal to 48.
Yeah.
You just put derivative.
So do we have to do the derivative equals to 48?
Yeah, that's what the question's saying.
Oh.
Whereas here, they wanted you to work out the derivative, the gradient. Now they're giving you the gradient. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Does everybody see the difference? Shaida?
Yeah.
Ima?
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys can tell me if I must repeat anything. Okay. Now it says after how many hours does the volume reach a maximum? Who wants to give me an approach? What are you guys thinking?
But it doesn't give you how much it can hold. So what does it mean maximum?
Oh,
Maximum.
I did it. Can I answer?
Yes, yeah, Shaida. Oh, Nafisa,
No,
sorry.
Nafisa. Yeah.
Sorry.
So you work out the derivative and then you just make it equal to 0. And then you solve for t, which is 5.
And why are you making the derivative equal to 0?
Because they ask for the maximum value. So
Yeah, so the turning point. Yeah, stationary point. Yeah. Because remember, the derivative equals not, it's not always going to be maximum. Right? If it was a smiling parabola, you would be finding a minimum.
would you
Do you
still
agree?
make it equal to 0?
Yes, because the gradient is still naught.
Okay.
But
Okay.
don't assume that when you find derivative equal to naught, that you're finding the maximum per se. You're finding where the derivative is naught. And the derivative can be naught at a maximum and a minimum.
Okay, so in the question they will specify if it's maximum or minimum, right? And then we just
Yes.
answer.
But you can assume it's going to be a maximum because you know the parabola is frowning.
Okay.
Do you see? So just little technical stuff like that you just have to be careful of. Because remember in the cubic graph, you can get a graph like this, right? And you've got a maximum and a minimum. So you just have to be careful. Because you could be finding this one and then you say this is a minimum. No, you have to make sure which one it is. Okay. So do you guys agree with, understand what Nafisa said? You find the derivative, make it equal to naught.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they, sorry, t. And then what did you get?
5.
Yeah, and that kind of looks right, right? You can see if like that looks like 5, eh? 5. And then the y value. So then ask what's the maximum volume? So you have to find the y value, right? The maximum volume. Do you guys agree? You have to find the maximum volume. So you just sub in the x into here and you find the y.
Yeah.
Guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it starting to make a bit more sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So do you see how important the concepts are? So the concepts are very important. And we've made a concept video on optimization. That's very, very important. Okay. So Sydney asked a question, but I don't see Sydney here. So but it's okay. Maybe he's waiting for the recording. We didn't see me, but I mean, they didn't see me the whole question. It's cutting out something here, so it doesn't affect the answer. A circle with equation x plus 3, y minus 2. So this is maths, right? So what's the English of this? What's the English of this, guys? How would you translate that into English? How do you read this equation? Amaro, how would you guys read this equation? So like if I was to tell you, so you tell me, Ilyas, I've got an equation for you, x plus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 34. I'm saying, okay, like, what can you tell me about it? Like, describe it to
the
me.
center of our circle is -3 and 2.
Exactly, right? And what else? There's the second thing that the equation tells you.
The radius.
What's the radius?
34.
Not 34.
Okay, we
Root of
didn't do analytical circles yet, so I don't know.
Oh, not yet. Okay, so but these concept videos, there's nice concept videos and all that, but basically this is radius squared. Okay. So Naima, have you done the analytical geometry?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so okay, so each school does it differently, so you guys get to learn now. So basically the equation of the circle is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared. And AB is your center. That's why we said that -3 and 2 is the center. Okay. And this is r squared. So therefore, r is going to be root 34, if that's r squared. You guys see that?
Yeah.
That's actually all you need to know. Like really, like honestly, like in grade 12, for analytical geometry, you just have to know the equation of the circle, understand the equation of the circle, and then be able to convert an equation that is in general form to standard form. Like that is it, honestly. If you know that well, everything will be fine. The rest of it is grade 11 work and grade 10 work. Okay, so points B, -6 and -3, okay, and naught K, okay, are points on the circle. Points on the circle. So what is BA? What's AB? What's AB?
The diameter.
Right. So you know the diameter already. Do you agree? Because you know the radius.
Yeah.
So you multiply by 2. So you see how just from looking at the question, you can immediately derive things from the. So that's something that I like to do. I actually like, before I look at the questions, look at the information they give you in the question, and then just try and see. Okay, they telling me the equation. Okay, Ilias. Okay, centers -3, 2, radius is root 34. Done. Okay, so that's what they're trying to convey to me. Yeah. Points B and A is the diameter. Okay, but I know the diameter because I know the radius. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the sort of stuff that. So you see how reading the question is so important. Some people just skip the question and then go to the question, the statement. So now okay, look at the first question. Determine the coordinates of M. What's M? The center.
-3.
-3 and 2. You see, so really answered this stuff. Okay, -3 and 2. Determine the value of K. Where's K? What do you guys think?
The corner
my
that's
point.
cutting out. No? Oh.
Okay, it's there. No, K is there.
Oh.
Let me make it bigger for you guys. They want you to work out K.
Can we use midpoint?
Yes. Most certainly can. Yes. So are you? So what's the? No, actually, well, yeah. Yes, you can. Yes,
You
you
could
can.
also work out the gradient, isn't it? And then.
So who said midpoint?
Me.
So Naima, so you said midpoint. So what would you do?
So you're going to say -6 plus
Yeah.
0 over 2 is equal to -3. and then
which
you
is
cross
what you
multiply.
have, right? Which is what you have, right? Which is great. So you know that's right.
Yeah, and then you do the same for y. So you have -3 plus k over 2 is equal to 2, and then cross multiply and solve for k.
So -3 equals 4.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Right.
-3 plus k equals 4. So therefore, k equals -1. No, k equals 1. Sorry. What did you get? I'm talking nonsense here. -3 plus k over 2 equals 2. Yeah. Okay. No, it's 7.
Yeah,
7.
it
So
is
-3 plus k equals 4. Therefore, k equals 7.
7.
Sorry. Right. Do you guys understand what she said? What her method?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now it says the equation of a and b. You guys comfortable with that? A equation of a and b. You've got 2 points, so you can work out the equation. You got the gradient. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
So what's the gradient? What's the gradient?
5/3. No.
5/3, right? And then you say you can work out, so +7, because that's the y-intercept. Do you guys agree? The gradient is 5/3, but this is the y-intercept, so I'm just putting it there. Do you guys see?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened to? There were a few others. Kaylee left. Maybe she's coming back. I'm probably sure there were more. Okay, there's somebody else. Okay. Next question says the angle of inclination. How do we work out the angle of inclination?
Tan theta is equal to the gradient.
Right. So what's the gradient?
Five over 3. So the angle is equal to 59.
59, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And in previous videos, I've told you guys that with the angle of inclination, it's telling you the angle that your line makes with the positive x-axis. Okay? But just on a technical note, because I'm not sure if they would have emphasized this to you at school, it tells you the angle that it makes with the positive x-axis. But if you look very carefully, there are actually 2 angles that the line makes with the positive x-axis. Because look here, the green is the one, right? But what about this angle? Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Do you see
Yeah.
both make an angle with the x-axis, positive x-axis? Which one is smaller? Blue or red?
Red.
The blue is smaller.
The blue is smaller. And that's what your calculator tells you. Your calculator tells you the smallest angle that the graph makes with the positive x-axis. Do you guys see that? Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why is this guy telling me this? I'm telling you this because if you get a line like this, where's the first angle? This, right? You guys see that?
Yes.
And the second one is?
The bottom one.
Right. Based on what I told you, what is the calculator going to tell you? The green or the yellow?
The yellow.
Why?
No, because it's gonna be. I know this. Wait, it's because that's the smallest angle, right? But
it's smallest, right? So it's going to tell you the yellow.
But doesn't it also depend on the slope of the gradient?
No. If it's so, so if the graph looks like this will always be smaller than this.
Okay.
If the graph is like this, then this will be
the smallest.
Yeah. But why I'm telling you this is because if you guys type tan of a negative gradient, you get a negative answer. Just try it. Arctan of a negative gradient. Try like arctan of -2. Just try it.
-63.
Right. That doesn't, like, people freak out when they see that stuff. Like, why is it negative? Why is it negative? So then the teacher tells them, okay, it's fine, it's negative. Just add 180. They told you that?
Yep.
They told you that? Okay. Did I tell you why you must add 180?
No.
Because it's going like clockwise or anti-clockwise. I don't know.
Look here. In this graph, which angle is the calculator going to give you?
The smaller one.
Right, the smaller one. Isn't this a negative angle? Because it's going clockwise.
Yes.
This is going anti-clockwise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
Yeah.
you get a negative answer. Because it's clockwise. That's why it's negative. And isn't this just 180 minus that?
Yes.
And that's what you want,
Oh.
really.
Mm.
So that's why they tell you to add 180. But that's why. I'm just telling you why. So that you don't really have to know this, but it's just nice to know. And so that, yeah, I think in maths it's always important to know why you do things. Okay. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Now you can tell your friends. Okay. What is the size of A1? Where's A1? A1 is here. What could we do here?
Angles in a triangle.
Yeah, so what's this angle?
90. So it would be 180 minus, yeah, that.
31, right? Okay, because it's, this is 59.
Yeah.
And then the equation of the tangent. So what do you need to work out the equation of a line? You need a
point and gradient.
Point. You can either have 2 points or you can have a point and a gradient, right? Here we only have 1 point. So we need a gradient. What's the gradient of the tangent?
The derivative. No.
Yes, you can use the derivative, but you don't really have that type of information with you. It's an easier way. What do you know about tangents and circles? What is the property? So there's concept videos on tangents and circles. What do we know about tangents and circles? Have you guys been taught anything about tangents and circles and circle geometry? Naima, have you guys been
Oh yeah.
taught in?
The line between a tangent.
Naima, have you guys
Oh,
been?
The line
wait.
between the tangent and circle is equal to the interior opposite. That's the first one.
What is AB? What did we say AB is?
It's perpendicular, so
It's
isn't it?
perpendicular, right?
Okay,
it's
so
the angle
we
between the
would
tangent and the radius or the
radius equal to
diameter,
90.
right? So what does
Then
that mean for the gradient of the tangent?
it would equal to -1.
Here's the gradient. Here's the equation of the line. What's the gradient of the tangent?
-3/5.
-3/5. You just swap the numerator and denominator, and you make it negative. Do you guys see that? Guys, do you guys see that?
Yes.
Why is it negative?
Somebody say it again. Somebody said something. Naima?
No, she asked why it's negative.
Why is the gradient negative?
Yeah.
So whenever you want to find perpendicular gradients, you take the, like if this is 1/2, then the perpendicular is going to be -2/1. Or if this is 5/3, then it's -3/5. Because when you multiply these together, what do you get?
-1.
-1.
But a quick way is just to swap them in times by 9 - 1. That's a quick way. Okay? And you guys can work out the equation because you have the point.
It's y is equal to -3/5 plus 7.
Yes, and you do. And how did you know that so quickly? Because this is the y-intercept, right?
Yeah.
So you could just add 7. You see, you don't need to actually. The point, you've got C already, so you don't have to do that whole y minus y1 thing. Okay, now it says line EBD is the diameter of the circle. Okay, what do we know about diameters? They're twice the radius. Okay, and because it's a tangent, right? Is it a tangent? Does it say it's a tangent? Okay, anyway, they tell you B is the 0.53 and E is the 0.98. So they want the coordinates of D. So they want you to work out D. Naima?
Can we use midpoint again because B is the center?
There we go. Right, you can use midpoint. And then you'll get 1. You just -2. If you do the midpoint.
Yeah.
Okay. And the equation of EBD, this is easy, right? You've got 2 points.
Yeah.
So what's the gradient? It's 5/4. 5/4. So can somebody just quickly work out the equation? Y equals 5/4. Okay. Somebody work out the equation. Okay. Move on.
It's y equals 5/4x minus 13/4.
-13/4. Okay. Great. Now it says determine C if C is the y-intercept of the circle. Probably a lot of marks. Huh? Do you guys have any ideas? C is the y-intercept. So that's English, right? Y-intercept is English. What's the maths of y-intercept?
Make x equals 0.
Exactly.
So then it
But
would be negative 3 over 4. No. Yes. No.
where are
I
you
don't know.
getting, where are you subbing it into?
The equation.
But that
No.
equation doesn't go through C.
Oh, you must take the equation of the circle and then.
Yes. So you sub naught into the equation of the circle. Do you guys see?
Yeah.
Because remember, the circle is just a normal equation. It's just the same. So if you want to work out the x-intercept of the circle, you make y naught. And if you want to work out the y-intercept, you make x naught. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. How many answers will you get if you make x naught? How many answers? Do you get 1 answer, 2 answers, 3 answers? If you make x naught.
Well, you get 2 answers because it's squared.
Yes. But also looking at the circle, how many y-intercepts are there?
2. There's
So
1
if
by
you
D and 1 by C.
So if you make x naught, the equation doesn't know which one you want, so it's going to give you both, right? Do you see that?
Yes.
Amaro, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why, do you see in the question it says positive y-intercept? Because it's telling you that there's 2 y-intercepts. So what's the equation of the circle? What do we need to work out the equation of the circle? 2 things. What are the 2 things?
The center
The
and the
center.
radius.
Right. Okay, so what's the center?
5 and 3.
So it's going to be x minus 5 squared, y minus 3 squared equals the radius squared. What is the radius? It's 5, 25, 16, 41. Did you go 41?
Yeah.
Should be. Okay. So therefore, how are we going to work out the y-intercept? We make x 0. See that, guys? Guys.
Yes.
Yes.
See, I don't like, you see, if I don't hear anything, then I think you guys either not there or you're just not understanding. So that's why I always just check up. So you guys just talk the whole time when I say something, and then just so I know. Okay, so you're gonna get 2 answers, and you guys know how to solve this, right? You just expand and then you solve.
Yeah.
So y either equals 7 or minus 1. You guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously which one they want, the positive one. So you're gonna get 7. Okay. Then it says the equation of EP, the tangent. So I'm assuming EP is this. It was cut off.
So we'll flip the gradient again and then substitute E.
Exactly. Right? So you've got a point and you know the gradient because you can work out this equation. So what's the gradient going to be of the EP if this is the equation?
-4/5, isn't?
Okay. So you guys getting the hang of it? Okay. Then the coordinates of P, the x-intercept of the tangent. So x-intercept is English. What's the maths?
Make y equal to 0.
So you guys see it. It's all about translation. It's all about translation. So you've got to know the English, and then you'll be able to translate that to maths. Or you've got to know the maths, and you have to translate that to English. You guys see that?
Yeah.
And in the length of EP, you just use distance formula. Okay. EP. And then inclination, you work out the gradient and you get tan, right?
We do have the gradient, which is -4/5, right? Of that
Yes.
line.
So are you going to get a positive or negative answer if you say arctan?
Negative.
Right, because this is a negative gradient. So
Yes.
therefore, the
Then we'll eliminate it.
calculator is going to tell you this angle. But you want this angle. You see?
All right.
So, because this is the smallest.
Is it the same if I work out, like, put the +4/5 and then work out the reference angle, then you just minus 180, that minus that answer? It's the same thing, right?
So +4/5 will be, yeah.
It will give
there.
me 38, and then I just say 180 minus 38
Yeah.
to get 131.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's, yeah, I'm just trying to show you this so that you understand why the calculator gives you a negative answer. Okay. Yeah, so that's that. Let's go on to the next question. Are you guys happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Nafisa, are you fine? Shaida, Naima, Amara?
Yes.
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 Still going strong. He's got another 20 minutes. No, this is not the right one. So it's that one. Okay. So this is also optimization. So when it comes to optimization, these concept videos, and I also want you to watch the bank videos. Do you guys all know how to get to the bank?
Yep.
You know, we sent
Yes.
link. Yeah, okay. So a cylinder has a volume of 128. Okay, so when I read that sentence, I automatically think to myself, what's the volume? So that's English, right? Right? Volume, right? That's English. What's the maths? The volume equation. Do you guys see that? So that's the English. Then I translate that to maths. Okay. Happy?
Yes.
Okay. Now it says, okay, show that the surface area is that. Okay. Now, when they say surface area, that's English. Now, what's the equation of the surface area of a circle, of a cylinder? And this is something that you can actually work it out. You don't actually have to memorize it. It's 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, because the surface area is this circle, right? This circle here, and that circle. So that's 2 pi r squared. And then it's this over here, which is the height of the, and then this is just literally a rectangle. Okay, this is a rectangle. If you unfold this, it's a rectangle. So then you've got a a rectangle with this length and this breadth, so it becomes 2 pi r h, because the length of this is just going to be the circumference, which is 2 pi r, multiplied by the height, which is that. Okay, so that's the equation of the surface area. Now, what do you guys notice in the answer that they gave you? Do you notice anything about the variables? Do you notice anything? What's there? What is here that's not there? Or what's here that's not there?
The height.
The height is not there, right? Who said that? Yes, the height is not there, right? The height's not there. And this is really important in calculus, because in calculus, you can only take the derivative of if you only have one variable, right? Like, you guys haven't been taught how to do this, like w equals x squared plus y squared. You know, you can't take the derivative of when you've got two of these, right? Do you guys agree? So you have to write it with one variable. Okay. Amaro, Sharida.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So how can we write it with one variable? And that's where the volume comes in. You see, why do you think they gave you the volume? They gave you the volume, and this type of question comes up all the time, because if they give you the volume, you know the volume is pi r squared h, which means that you can write the equation in terms of h, so it becomes v over pi r squared, and we said that v is what? 128 pi. And what that means is that you can now take this and sub it into here, because in this expression, you've got no h's. Do you see that? Nafisa?
Yes.
No.
No, somebody said no, somebody said no, somebody said no.
I'm saying oh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So what's 2 times 128?
256.
So this is what you've got here, and then r over r squared is r. So do you guys see how they got this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't get it.
So they subbed in h. Okay, I skipped a couple of steps, sorry. They subbed in h into here, so it's 2 pi or h, but we said h is what? It's 128 pi over pi r squared, right? Nafisa, do you agree?
Yes, yes.
The pi's cancel,
Hmm.
the r cancels with that. So you're left
Okay.
with 256 pi over r,
Yes.
which is what they have here.
Okay.
Plus
Oh,
the 2
okay.
pi r squared.
Oh. Okay, I get it.
So do you see the trick? So do you see that they give you these things here, man? So they gave you there. They said there a volume of 128. So then you immediately must think to yourself, what's the mathematics of that statement? The mathematics is that it's v equals pi r squared h. Then when you work out the area, you get h there. So you must try and remove the h, so you can use the volume equation to write it only in terms of r. Do you see that?
Yes.
You put it in there. This question happens so many times. I can't like it happens so many times. You know, determine this minimum surface area. What are we gonna do? Minimum surface area. Shaida, any ideas?
Not sure. Minimum.
Okay. Maro, any ideas?
No.
Equal to 0.
Yes. Nafisa, why do you say that?
I don't know. I just know in the also minimum and maximum value make it equal to 0.
Okay, but now I want you to know why. Because what is this equation for? What is this equation for? So this is the equation. What is the equation telling you?
The
What's
area.
this? It's the area with respect to?
X. No, R.
R, right? So I can choose any value of R and it will tell me the area. Do you understand that equation now?
Yes.
So now they want the minimum area. So think of it just like a normal graph.
So isn't you find your derivative and make it equal to 0?
So you were right. I just wanted to explain to you. Because they want the minimum surface area. And this is equation for the surface area. So the minimum surface area, it's just going to be the derivative equals 0. You guys fine with that?
Yes.
So now, how do we find the derivative? So it's a equals 2 pi r. Now, what's important is take the r, make it negative. Do this. It makes your life so much easier. Do you guys see that? Instead of r being in the denominator.
Yes.
Because this is difficult to differentiate. I mean, it just makes your life difficult. So who wants to do this for me? So its derivative is going to be dA by
dr. R.
dr, right? And that must equal 0, right? The derivative must equal 0. So what's the derivative?
4 pi r.
4 pi r. Is pi a variable?
No.
Does pi change?
No, it doesn't change.
It's just a symbol, right? So you don't have to think of pi as a variable. So it becomes 4 pi or right then
Negative 256 pi r.
pi r, yeah, what?
The
Oh,
power of
0. No.
Negative 2, because remember it's minus 1. So minus 1 minus 1 is minus 2. And this must
Equal to 0.
equal to 0, right? So let's solve this now. So this r to the minus 2 can be in the denominator and be r squared. So we can do what? What can we do? We can
Bring it up and then
bring
make
it
it
up.
equal to negative 2. R to the power negative 2.
Oh, no, I just brought down. Can't you multiply out by r squared and then you get a linear, you sort of get one line, right?
Oh, yes.
You guys agree? If you take the 256 over afterwards. So, Shaida, talk to me, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cancel the pies. Cancel. 128 divided by 2 is 60. 256 divided by 4 is 64. So r cubed is 64. And what's the cube root of 64?
4.
4. But what is the question asking?
For
Is
the
it
maximum
asking
value.
minimum value?
Oh, sorry, minimum value.
So is your answer 4?
No.
No. It's just, 4 is
Is
just
it negative?
the radius that will give you a minimum surface area. You still have to sub that into the
Oh.
equation.
Oh my lord.
Oh.
So do you guys see the difference? Do you guys see the difference? If they asked you, determine the radius that will give you a minimum area, this is your answer. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
But if they asked you, sorry, I got an email there. But if they asked you what is the radius that will give you a minimum area, it's this. But if they ask you what's the minimum area, you sub this into the equation.
Wait, say that again, please.
If they ask you what is the radius that will ensure that you have a minimum area, this is your answer. Because this is the radius. But if they ask you what is the minimum area, then you have to sub this into the area equation.
So you'd get 96 pi. I don't know.
96 pi. Does it make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
The next question is very similar. So I want you guys to help me with this one. Okay. Go away. Go away. Okay. No, don't do that. A cylinder is to be made with a total, so now they give you the surface area, right? So what did I tell you at the beginning when they give you surface area? What would you think to yourselves? That's English. So you
I
think,
don't-
so now you think, what is they gave you the English, so you must think to yourself, what is
The formula of the surface area.
yeah, what's the maths? So the maths is the formula, right? So you write formula, which is, so it's a surface area, which is 1/8 pi equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, right? So just from this statement, I already have this equation. You see that? So now we're breaking down the question. Let the radius of the base be r. Okay, fine. Radius height. Okay. Express h in terms of r. What are they asking you here? That's English. What is the maths of that?
Like
What are they
work
asking?
out the height in terms of r.
So are you making h the subject of the formula or r the subject of the formula?
The r. No, the h.
The H.
There's 4 of you. Who says h? Who says r?
The H.
The
H.
Ima says h.
Nafisa says h.
Shaida.
H.
Amaro.
I think it's 8.
Okay, yeah, it is h. Right. So yeah, if I say express y in terms of x,
Make what?
then it's going to be y equals something with x. But if I said express x in terms of y, that's making x a subject. Okay, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So who's going to do that for me? Express h in terms of r. What can we do? What can we do?
I think we'll take the 2 pi RH over.
You
Right?
can,
And then
yeah. So it becomes
so it'll be
108 pi
negative.
minus 2 pi r squared, yeah, equals 2 pi r h, yeah. Then
We take that 108 pi over to the other. Oh no, right. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Now we divide by 2.
yeah,
I don't know.
can't you just divide by 2 pi r one time to get h on its own?
Yes.
Okay. So what's 108 divided by 2? 54. So it's 54 over r. 54 over r. Did we make a mistake here? 108 by 2 pi r squared, 2 pi h. Okay, yeah. Okay, so 54 over r. And then you divide by this one, right? So it becomes minus
R isn't because the
minus
2
r.
pi R will cancel.
Yes, equals.
And then answer equals H.
So now you've expressed h in terms of r. You see that?
Yeah.
So now they want the volume. So what's the equation for volume?
I have a question.
Yes, Nafisa.
For the where we took the 2 pi r squared to the left hand side, right? Couldn't we leave it on the right hand side and then take out 2 pi r as a common factor?
Yes. There are lots
Okay.
of ways that you can do it. It's just whatever way works for you. So as long as it's correct.
Okay.
As long as it's correct. That's the thing with maths is like nobody can say you're doing something wrong. I mean, if what you're writing down is correct, they can't say it's wrong. I mean, there's different ways to get to the end. That's what makes maths fun for me, because you don't have to do it like the same way over time. You can do so many different ways. Anyway, what's the equation for volume? What's the equation for volume?
Pi r squared h.
Right. Do you guys see it now? What the problem is in the volume equation? Do you see what the problem is?
Yeah, they don't have H.
Well, they've got a h, and you only want one variable. Do you see that?
Yes, but then we can take the h equals to and then sub it in here.
You guys see that? So the nice thing in this question, they at least told you what to do. With this question, you kind of had to assume. You see, the first one. But both ways, it's a skill. That's the skill. The skill is what I'm trying to teach you. So let's multiply out. So what's 54? So it's going to be 54 pi r, right? Because it's going to be r squared times r over r, and then it's going to be minus I'm missing something here. Why does it say pi over 2 r cubed? pi, can you guys still hear me? Okay. Pi r squared times 54 over r, which is 54 pi r. Why do they say pi over 2?
Okay, right. So in the textbook at the back, the answer for h for number 1, they said that h is equal to 54 over r minus r over 2. So we were supposed to do this as for homework, and then we did it, and then our teacher got the same answer as you, and then she just said that we must ignore the answer in the textbook. But for like
Okay.
number 2, you need number 1 from the textbook. So I also don't know where they got 2 from.
Yeah, okay, so we're not wrong. Okay, yeah, okay, good. Okay. So it's fine. So we've got, so the equation for volume becomes V equals 54 pi r. Is your teacher Miss Date?
I get Masandale.
No, we get this.
Okay. So Miss pi r minus pi r cubed. Okay. So this is equation for volume in terms of r. So how, you could work out the volume. You could say, I want to work out the volume when r is 2. I sub in 2 into here, right? You see that? Or
Yeah.
I could say to you, I want to know if I want a volume of 50, what's the radius? Do you guys see that? You can sub 50 into here
Yeah.
and
Then
use
just
12
solve
for r.
this.
So do you guys see what the equation means here? So we have to understand what the equation means. So what's the maximum volume? Any ideas? Guys, any ideas? Maximum volume?
7, make it equal to
Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
So what's the derivative? 54 pi r is?
54
Will be
pi r.
54 pi.
Because r is just, yeah. And then this one, minus?
3 pi squared.
And that must equal?
0.
Right.
0.
You can cancel the pi's. 54 equals 3 pi r squared. Sorry. 3r squared. 54 divided by 3 is 18. Can r be negative root 18?
No,
Why?
I don't know.
What does r represent?
The radius.
Can the radius be negative?
No, because it's just, I don't know.
Do any of you do physics? Do any of you do physics? Hello, hello, hello.
No.
Oh. Do any of you do physics?
Nope.
I can't hear. Just
I don't think anybody does physics.
No.
okay. I was just going to say that. So basically, we would say that radius is We call it a scalar quantity. So like distance.
Oh yeah, so
Time.
it can't be a negative distance, right?
Yes, distance, time, energy. Like these can't be negative. So you always talk about them being positive. Gravity. No, gravity is not. But you get the idea, right? So distance, which is a radius, is going to be always positive.
So it's going to
Okay.
be just positive.
So it's going to be,
Okay.
yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we leave the square root as is, or do we simplify? Because square root of 18 is 4,
2
2.
root 3. 2 root 3, eh? No.
3
root
root
3.
2.
3. Yes, sorry. 3 root 2, sorry. I honestly don't really, I think it just depends on the teacher, to be honest, because I mean, it's already a simple, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I don't really mind, but it just depends on your teacher. What do your teachers want you to simplify it?
I don't know, they usually say it in a question, like leave it in the third form or something.
Yeah, so I think it just depends. If they say specifically we want it to be in third form, then you can put it there. But I don't think it's I don't think it's like it's a given that you have to do it, you know? Yeah. Okay. You guys good? Do you have energy for one more?
Yes.
Okay. Amara, you said number 5, 6, and 7.
Yes, I just want to confirm because we did that at school today. I mean, yeah, online. So I tried doing my answers, but I'm not sure. So I just want to see if it's right.
Okay. So the concept right now is compound angles, and yeah, compound angles you're doing in class, right?
Yes, and I watched the content video as well.
Okay. Did you find it helpful?
Yeah.
You can say no.
No, I did. Just for the optimization, it doesn't actually.
Did you watch both videos? The
Yeah.
example. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's do this one. So I recommend that you memorize the identities. It just makes it a lot easier. And to constantly look back. I think cos A minus. So if you memorize the identities, or if you just have them in front of you, which one sort of fits this one? Which one of these? Sine, cos, right? You know, so it can't be cos.
So it's sine A plus B.
Right, because of the positive, that gives it away, okay? So do you see how you can narrow it down? So then it's just going to be sine of 20. 14 plus 16.
So is that your final answer, 20?
Yeah, that's the single 20 trigonometric ratio, sine 20. That's, you know, it's not a special angle, so you can't really say what it is unless you've memorized the trig ratios, which I don't know if anybody's done that.
Yeah, but what I did the same thing, but I just so I rewrote it, and then I said sine 6 plus 14 in brackets and then another bracket sine 20. Because I wasn't sure if that's how you do it. If I must add or must just leave it like that.
So you know you must add because you must look at this sign. So if it's this one, then it's sine A plus B. So the signs correspond. But for argument's sake, Amar, if this was negative, then your answer would be sine of 14 minus 6.
Yeah.
Which would be sine of 8. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So number 6. Number 6 says sine, sine, cos, cos. So which one are you thinking? You're thinking?
So it's the cos.
You're thinking of the cos. And cos plus or cos minus?
Minus.
Why?
Because.
For cos, the sign changes.
Yeah.
Because the sign changes. So this will be positive and then this will be negative. Right? So that's going to equal cos of A,
x minus 5x.
which is just
Cos of x.
right. There we go.
Okay.
What did you get?
Yeah, also got that.
Okay. The last one. Which one is it? Is it going to be a cos identity or sine identity?
It's a sine.
It's a sine because it's changing. So and sine plus or sine minus?
Plus.
Right. Because how did you know it was sine plus?
Because the signs, they stay the same.
Exactly. Well done. Okay, so now you can see. Yeah, right. You can see. So what's the answer going to be? What's A and B?
A is x minus 20. B is cos of 20.
Are you going to add or are you going to subtract?
Add.
So then you get final answer.
Isn't it just sine x?
Oh yeah, because it's going to be sine x minus 20 and then another bracket 20. So it's a negative and a positive which cancels out. So it will be x.
So you can write it like this: x minus 20 plus 20. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the last question. Yeah. How are you guys feeling?
It is a good session.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. Just keep on watching the concept videos and going through the bank. And remember I said the parabola concept video for grade 10 under the section spine map. Guys, please watch that one. And yeah, just keep on watching as much as you can. As much as you can, because everything that I teach you, we've mentioned in there. So if you and obviously because this session it's only 2 hours, so I might say things a bit faster, and I understand that it might be a bit fast. So that if you watch it again, don't watch it once, watch it twice. You can pause it. I believe you can also play it at half the speed if you want, but I talk very slowly in those videos. You might speed it up if you want.
Yeah.
So
I downloaded some of them also, so then I just go watch it.
Yeah. Although just be careful because sometimes we update them, eh? So it's always we don't update it like regularly, but like let's say we find a mistake, then we update it. And then you won't know that we've updated it. So just although we haven't changed any video this year. Yeah. But just watch as many as you can. And if you can watch all, watch all. and watch them as, make it like your routine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I have a question, a quick question.
Sure.
Okay, so for the factorization for cubic polynomial, right?
Mhm.
So you know the method synthetic division, I think. So does it work for all the polynomials?
I don't really use that method. I prefer another
I
one.
can't factorize. I swear, I literally tried, but then I came across that
watched
method and I was like,
Yeah. on
yes,
the cubic-
I even, yes, I watched like so many times and I'm like, I can't get it. And I waste so much time on factorizing.
Okay, let's try an example. Let me.
But synthetic division is so much easier though.
Yes.
Do you find it easier?
So
Yeah.
much easier and it's so quick.
Yeah.
I find
It's
mine
literally
quicker. So whatever way works.
That is because we struggle with factorizing. That's why.
Yeah, that's why. But for the synthetic, I get confused when there's a constant, I mean, not a constant, a coefficient in front of the x for the first term. That's where I get confused.
You just you just write, if it's a 2, you just write it 2.
But okay, well, let me go to an example quickly. Yeah, I got it. So, can I say it?
Yeah.
Okay, negative 3x squared. No, I'm lying. Wait, negative 3x to the power 3 minus 4x squared plus 3x plus 18.
Minus 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x plus 18. Are you sure? Nafisa?
Oh, it's written. Yes, it's written in my book, but
So say it again. Minus
could be
3x cubed.
okay. Can I give a different one then?
Yeah, because this one doesn't factorize.
Okay, then.
At all.
Okay, I got one. 2x cubed.
Yeah.
2x cubed plus 2x squared.
Yeah.
Minus 7x.
Okay.
Plus 3.
Okay, so the first thing that I usually do is I find a factor. So you can sub in. So actually one works, eh? 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7 minus 1 is 0. So so x minus 1 works. So what must you multiply x by to give you 2x cubed?
X squared.
Not x squared.
Oh, sorry, 2x squared.
2x squared. Okay. And then this will give you what? Minus 2x squared. But you need plus 2x squared. So what must you do to go from minus 2 to 2? What must you guys do to go from minus 2 to 2?
Won't you put plus kx?
you plus 4, right? If it's minus 2. You add 4. You have to add 4x squared to give you 2x squared. You guys agree?
Yes.
You've got minus 2. You add 4 to give you 2. Okay. And then, but the thing is, you need 4x squared. So you add 4x here, because that will multiply by this to give you 4x squared. Okay. But then this will be minus 4x. But you need minus 7x. So how do you go from minus 4x to minus 7x?
Minus 3x.
Right. But you will write here minus 3 because that will multiply by this x to give you minus 3x. You see that? And minus 1 times minus 3?
Positive 3.
So how would you do it using this? How would you do it using synthetic division?
Oh, you write down the factor on the left,
Okay, so but no, can
which
I
is
change?
1.
First
Yeah.
you must no. So first you must do the L, a backward L.
Like that? Or like that?
The
No,
second one. I
Second
just
one.
drew a straight line.
no, it's the
Okay.
other.
Which way? Which way?
So
Like that?
wait,
Like that? Like
yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah, that one.
Which one? Which one?
The left on top.
This one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Okay, so the factor was plus 1, and then what
So
was
where do I
the
put where do I put plus 1?
In that
on the
L.
right-hand side? On the right-hand side of
Do I
the
just
L.
put 1?
No, not that side.
Yes.
No, yes or no?
No, can I turn my camera on and show you?
You can actually share your screen if you want. But okay, you can show the camera.
I don't know how to do this.
There
Okay.
we see it now.
Oh, there's nothing there. What color do you write in, like? White? What is
Can you guys see?
We can see you, but not
We see you, yes.
Oh god.
Not the sum. There we see now.
I can't see
Putting
if
it
you guys
off.
can- Oh, okay. I can see now.
Wait, let me just see if I can do
What
this.
did you say? It was okay. So this is the factor, right? So Nafisa, what was the so it was 2x cubed?
Yes.
It's
2x cubed.
Yeah.
2x cubed plus 2x squared
Yeah.
minus 7x plus 3.
Okay. So you see all these numbers. So 2, 2, 7. You just write it here. It's going to be 2 minus 7 and 3. And then this first one, you just drop it down. So this becomes 2. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So you write the 2 here on the second one. And then you just add this. So this becomes 4. 4 times 1. So it becomes 4 plus minus 7, which is minus 2. Minus 2.
Oh, and then it cancels and gives you 0.
I think it's a very similar method.
But I get this one so much quicker. Then I don't need to think about the factors and like what must I add and what must I minus, because that takes so much time.
But the thing, if you think about it, what you're adding is actually, what's the opposite of adding? Subtracting.
Minusing.
So
Mhm.
you're just doing the reverse. But I mean, look, whatever way works. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, and then
Maybe
here
we should. You see, I just thought that I honestly thought my way was the easiest to understand, but maybe we should make a concept video on synthetic division.
Please do, because like a lot of people actually find this one easier than the other one. Because I
And
know
now
a lot of people that struggles
we
with.
have this one, and we have x is equal to 1.
So that is your one factor in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
for
you
you
first have to
do that,
find the factor, right? You first have to find the
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So both techniques, you have to find the factor,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, and in that factor is going to be your one bracket, and then you do the plus thing, and that's your other bracket. Okay,
I've learned
Shame, you can
something.
go now. Yeah, it's fine. Sorry.
Yeah.
25 minutes
Do you have
extra.
any feedback for the live sessions? I'm gonna send a feedback form.
Oh, I did
But
fill it out
Do you
last time.
have any things that we can change? Things that will make it better? Because we this is only like the 6th one we've done, so we obviously want to have feedback and stuff from the students.
I think this is really helpful. I don't
Yeah,
know
it is.
why.
I learn a lot. And I actually work, because like if I didn't
Yeah,
bring
like
out people like on my phone or something.
So why are
And-
there only 3 of you? If it helps so much, why?
because it's so,
I don't think they know how helpful it is unless they join. I mean,
yeah.
because like I didn't know how helpful it would have been unless I joined.
Okay. And Shaida?
I'm actually here.
I find it helpful as well.
Okay.
I'm
I'll
here
send
since time, so it's actually helpful.
Say it again?
I'm actually here like since day one, so it's actually really helpful for me.
Yes, I know you've been here. Well, I mean, there was time that you sent a question and I was like, must we wait for you? And he's like, no, I'm baking. I was like, okay.
She's probably
Okay.
busy cooking.
Yeah, that one time. No, I actually
like-
told Nafisa that day. I actually told Nafisa that I was going to join, but then I forgot about it and I just went to cook. And then
But you replied to me. You said I'm busy cooking. That's why.
Yeah. So because I started cooking, I couldn't like just leave it there. So I just finished it and I was like, okay. I'll watch it.
Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Monday. Well, hopefully, actually, let's just see. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, so campus will return soon. I'm sure 3:00 will be fine. Okay, see you guys. Assalamualaikum.
See you. Salam.